Hi everyone, I wanted to give you some tips and show a video on how to play two-digit integer multiplication war. The instructions are going to be with your resources that are in the Home Education Bridge, but it's always nice to have a video and I'll show you how we play this game. You're going to want some scratch paper to work on so that each player can have a spot to show their work. Each player may want their own piece of paper. You're going to need some digit cards that have different digits printed on them, and those can be found inside the resources that are going to be included in the Home Education Bridge, along with all your other subjects. But there they are. As you can see, I have already cut them out ahead of time. Some are positive, some are negative. Obviously, if you leave out the negative ones, this will be easier, and for more of a challenge, you can include the negatives. You divide the cards between two players, so you can shuffle them and randomly split them. And then before you're ready to play, you probably want to go over the rules for multiplying integers, which you see here. Just remember that a positive times a positive gives you a positive answer, and a negative times a negative also gives you a positive answer. And there's a couple of examples that you can see of that. The only way to get a negative answer with multiplication is if one of your factors is negative. So a positive times a negative gives you a negative, and a negative times a positive also gives you a negative. So just remember those before you start playing. And here is how they have us play this game. Player one will turn over the top card, which is a -7. And then they'll turn over another card to make a two-digit number. So in this case, I have made -72. If for some reason you were to turn over two negative cards, so maybe instead of the +2, I were to turn over a -6 also, I'd probably just hide that negative and pretend like this is -76, because all we're trying to do is create a two-digit number, and that might be a positive two-digit number or a negative two-digit number. So there's my first factor, -72, and then I'm going to turn over a third card, which is going to be a single-digit number, and that's what I'm going to multiply by. So -72 times 5. So I'm going to move my cards out of the way, and I'm player one, and I'm going to do -72 times 5. Well, I'm going to follow through with my multiplication just like I normally would. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 7 is 35. Plus 1 is 36. Now remember, I had a positive times a negative, positive times a negative. So my answer is going to be negative. So this is really going to be an answer of -360 for player number one. Player number two is going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn over two cards to make a two-digit number, so +41, and I'm going to multiply that by 9. I drew a little line under the 9 and the 6s so I can tell which ones are 9s and which ones are 6s. So this would be 41 times 9, so I'm going to move these out of the way. 41 times 9. You can already tell who's going to have the smaller or the larger answer, because in this case I had a negative answer, and this one's going to be a positive answer because both factors are positive. So 9 times 1 is 9, and 9 times 4 is 36. So we're comparing, in this first round, we're comparing -360 to 369, and obviously the negative number is smaller. So the player that has the lowest product, that's going to be player one, they're going to take all 6 of those cards. So they're going to take the ones that they used to build their numbers, but then they also have to take the ones from player two who won that round, and they have to take their cards. So now they're going to be putting these together, and they have to add them to the bottom of their stack. So now player one has more cards than player 2 does in their stack. And you're going to just keep playing until one person runs out of cards. And so just kind of a game of luck depending on which numbers you flip over. And this is great practice for multiplying integers. Hope this helps you play the game this week. And there'll be some other videos on some of these other lessons. Thanks for watching.